allo. Para para pam 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 pam. Para pam 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 pam. Hello, good evening, good morning, no, good afternoon, good morning, people. Hello, hello. Yeah, I'm usually greeting Europe and US. I don't think there are any Asian people following, but you never know. It may be. But the majority are or Europeans or Americans. Yep. Yes. So I would like to make more progress with this minigame and maybe reach a point where it's usable. I mean, consider we are still working outside of plane shift, right? So this is a sample project, which as you can see is pretty much empty. It has some clouds, but it's basically a completely empty project, just with a fake door and a lock. So this will have to be ported inside plane shift, and the porting will not be super easy, but anyway, I mean, if we encapsulate it well, like we are doing now, if we encapsulate it good enough, I think it could be reasonably easy. But at the moment I'm basically having one single blueprint. Hello, Hula. Good afternoon. Basically having one single blueprint where pretty much everything is happening, with the only problem of the lockpick, because the lockpick needs to be outside to actually be able to generate collision events the way we want, right? So, but apart from that, so the lockpick will have to stay outside. Apart from that, we did a good simplification the other day. I'm still thinking to simplify it more. I think we were in the... oh, I think I closed it. We were looking at the curve, right? We were looking at the curve. There was the formula for the tolerance, right? This is what we were looking at. And the formula for the tolerance didn't really look too good to me, right? It looked like it was broken, probably. Yeah, this formula here, this formula here. Right, this formula here. So there is a value that should go from 0 to 7. Now, it cannot be 0 because 0 means that it's impossible to lockpick. And so my choice was 0, 5, 0.5 to 4. So what 0.5 means? 0.5 means that if this is the range, if this is the range between the two, right? If this is the range, starting here and finishing here, right? You divide this thing in 14 pieces, and 0.5 is one of these 14 pieces. So probably 0.5 is even too little, right? It can probably be 1. And 4 means that if you divide it in 7 pieces, 4 of those pieces are our range, right? So if you divide this by 7, which I don't know exactly how to do, but anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, 7, right? So basically what he's saying is that 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 4 of them, and so it's basically half of the sides, which seems to be a lot, but I mean we can go for 3. But then if we do it between 3 and 1, then it's I mean the change is very small, right? I think we can do 4 and 1. So we basically need a formula. We need now, how do we want that formula to scale? That's a good question, huh? So assuming that our formula, our thing is, I think between 1 and 4, I think it kind of makes sense to me. What's going on? So I need I don't know what is going on with my PC at the moment, but it seems that it's not liking something. Memory 70%. Holy moly, 70%. Memory 70%. Oh, fuck. Firefox, huh? I don't know why Firefox is using so much memory, but it's ridiculous. So it's like Chrome is using one gigabyte, and Firefox at the moment is using 4.5 gigabytes of memory. I mean, Rider is okay because Rider is indexing, you know, the whole Unreal Engine, but Firefox is really ridiculous in terms of. So let me close it and reopen it. Yeah, I think it closed. I don't know why, but Firefox says some. I think he has a lot of memory leaks because he start good and then he start to increase the memory size a lot, and then you reach a point where you have to stop it, right? Like now. Let me see if the package with the miniature moved. between yesterday and today. It should arrive tomorrow. In theory. And then it's super slow. Firefox is super slow. You see, now I reopen exactly the same pages that were open before because I restored the session, and it's actually now is 900 megabytes, right? Instead of 4.5 gigabytes. So yeah. Yeah, the package is still in Germany. Okay. Okay. So we need to decide. The formula. I think between 1 and 4 is kind of okay. Now our input are the skill, and the lockpick strength, right? The skill and the lockpick strength. Now, what we did, we just did 1 divided by the other. Is 1 divided by the other a good idea or a bad idea? Divided by the other. 1 divided by the other means 1 divided by the other means one divided by the other means, by the way, do we do strength divided skill or skill divided strength? We do... We do skill divided strength. Messed up. Yeah, I mean, apart from the divide by 0, obviously. I mean, if it's 0, if it's divided by 0, I mean, if it's, right? No, this thing doesn't work. How do I do a freaking thing that is done automatically without me going crazy? Doesn't work. Huh? I mean, I think also this needs to be clamped somehow, right? Because first of all, we don't want to divide by 0. So I think that the minimum should probably be 1, right? So I think we have to clamp probably this lockpicking skill, and we have to clamp the strength to 1 in case they are 0, right? So that they work like better this way. I don't know why I cannot just do this, but no, I cannot. So, so lockpicking skill 1, lock strength 200 is 0.005, right? And lock speaking skill 200, this would be also the same. So that is our range, right, of lockpicking skill divided by strength. So, I mean, it's basically linear, right? So if I have a strength of 100, it's just a straight line, I guess. Right? Huh? No, but it's not like this. No, it's not like this. But I don't think if it can be done this way, but probably not, right? How do I represent it? So basically, if X stays the same, so let's say that my lock strength is 100, right? My lock strength is 100. So the result is 1 divided by 100, right? 20 divided by 100, 40 divided by 100. So now the problem is the range here, I guess. The problem is the range. Do you have a way to... You can, huh? Exactly. Okay, I managed to do what I was saying. So yeah, so if the strength of the strength of the lock is 100, right? Then as my skill goes up, that is the percentage of success. So it's perfectly linear, right? So I think the fact that it's linear is fine with me. So I think one divided by the other, to me, is fine. The only problem are always the edges, right? Even if I think that the strength, a lock strength will never be 0, but a player's skill can be 0. So I think we should give him a chance anyway by clamping at least the skill to 1. And then the rest goes... So at 100 skill is 1, at 200 skill is 2, right? So... Now, I don't know if you are treating that as a percentage, but probably yes. Well, it can be the average. So do we want... Yeah, I think it can be the average, right? So if you have strength, if the lock is strength 100 and your skill is 100, we want the minigame to be 50% complexity. No? I think so. So we want the minigame to be 50% complexity, so... Which is... So it means that this is not really our median point, so our median point is 1 minus the result, no? Because if we do 1 minus... No, sorry. If we do this minus 1, what? If if we do this -1, so what do I want? I want that when my, no, that is not the way. So I want that when my, I mean, I can consider 1 the medium point. If I do -1, yeah, exactly. If I do -1, then my 100 skill is at 0. No, I want it at 0.5. My 100 skill is what? So I have to do -0.5. So my 100 skill is 0.5, and my 200 skill so the curve is wrong. I need it to be more steep, so that it goes between 0 and 1 in the range of 50. No, in the range of 100. In the range of 100. I'm confusing myself, guys. So I'm trying to say that we want the medium point to be, so if we consider that this is the resulting complexity of the minigame, right? So the y is the resulting complexity of the minigame, and the x is the skill. If the lock is 100 like your skill, I would like the complexity to be at 0.5. So I have to do what? Divide it by 2? Or multiply by 2? Multiply by 2. No, divided by 2. Yeah, exactly. Divided by 2. Exactly, this point. So this point means that this point is 100.05, right? So this point means that if we consider that our the complexity of our mini game goes between 0 and 1, and our skill goes between 0 and 200, right? When I have a skill of 100, which is here in the middle, the complexity of the mini game is 0.5, right? So it's simply x divided and then divided by 2, right? Or divided by 200, which I guess is the same. Now consider 100 was the complexity of the lock, right? So let me keep it separate. So if the complexity of the lock now goes to 50, so the lock is half, right? Half complexity compared to my skill, then my skill will tell that, you know, my 100 skill, which is double than the complexity of the minigame, will position it at 1, right? And it means that if I go to 200, I will be so high that it doesn't even matter anymore. So I guess that the point is that we don't want, I mean, do we want a curve? Do we want a curve that goes to 200, that goes to complexity 1? But the only problem, I don't know which curve I want. I don't know which curve I want. Because if it increases linearly, we go out of the range very quickly, right? if it increases linearly, there is no way to manage this thing, no? Let me ask the AI and see. I'm trying to find the right formula to balance the player skill and the lock strength, right? So the player skill can go from 0 to 200, and the lock strength also goes from 0 to 200. So I would like the... So I don't know exactly what I want, but the only thing that I want is that if your skill is equal to the strength, means that you are in the middle, right? And means that the complexity of the minigame, the resulting formula should give you 0.5, right? I would like the complexity of the minigame to be based on those two values. So I did something like complexity equal to skill divided by strength divided by 2, right? Which means if I have 100 skill and 100 strength and 100 lock strength, then the complexity is 0.5, so right in the middle, right? So this is what I want, but this is then skewed up very quickly if the skill goes up to insane values or the strength goes down to insane value. Hello, fifth function. Hey, thank you. Hello. Have some lurkers. Thank you. Hello. Oh, it's a lot of bombs. Look at that. Oh my god, everything is exploding. Ula is flying to the sky. Hey, thank you for the raid. We are working on a lockpicking minigame that looks like this. Okay. We're working on a lockpicking minigame that looks like this. Actually, I can also play it. I can show you a bit. And basically, you have a lockpick here, and you can push the pins of the lock up. You can do the same with those ones. And basically the point is to find that, right? To press space and lock the thing. The only problem is that it's not really working as expected. But anyway, and so we have different parameters that we can play with, right? We can play with the speed of the pin, we can play with the tolerance between the right spot you have to stop it and the neighbor space. We were also thinking to play with the shape of the pin. Right, so like this pin you see is different shape than this one, right? So maybe different shapes may require different lockpicks. So it's something that we are thinking to. And then there is a sequence, right? So they have to be locked in a certain sequence, maybe, right? So that's the idea. And at the moment, I'm trying to understand how do we want to have the complexity, how do we want to have the complexity of the minigame determined, right? Right. So the problem is that if I use this, then when the lock is strength 200, well, when my, let's say, when the skill is 200 and the lock stays at, and the lock maybe goes down, because if I do 200 like that, right, with this formula, right? So with the lock at 100, it kind of works, right? Because 200 is 1. But if the lock goes to 50, right, then my 200 goes above scale, right? So this is why I think we need a linear or a logarithmic. No, we need a logarithmic or whatever. Yeah, right. So it should actually. So I think that the curve should probably be, you know, I think that the curve should probably, I mean, considering that we have 1 and 0, right? I think the curve should probably be something like this, right? But I don't know. So if I do it this way, I cannot do it, but anyway. If I do it this way, or if I do it this way, probably this way is okay. It's not easy to draw a curve with a mouse. If I do it this way, right, and this basically goes to 100, no matter what is the value, right, no matter what is the value, I think that this part I'm fine with, but this part means that if my skill is super low, yeah, I think it should be a curve like that, exactly. I think it should be exactly a curve like this. It cannot be linear like this. I think it doesn't work. So I think it needs to be, and this is probably what is x by 2 or something. Is x elevated by what? No, it's not x elevated by 2. Well, well, the range though needs to be 100. The range needs to be, so I need to open up my curve. So is huh? Oh wow. Why it doesn't open up when you go down? Doesn't, huh? I just want this to open up here. But I don't know how to do it. How do I make a curve that is more open than huh? No, huh? 2x. What? You have to divide the parabola. Yeah, I want to exactly. I want to divide it somehow. Divided by something. No, divided by something. No, everything divided by something. Ah, I start to open up. Yeah, but yes. I start to open up. But it doesn't open up enough though. Right. I feel like the real question is, what is the feeling you want to get from the player? It is something that just is tedium every time that the skills start, just making it faster. Is something like the player can get skills, so it playing started barely convenience. I think it has to be a mix, right? It has to be a mix of the game becoming more complex. For example, you know, we can have a mini game that only has 2 pins, right, instead of 8, or it can have 3 pins or 4 pins, right? So and this thing is already configuring itself based on that logic, right? So so I can show you that. So if we say that the number of pins is only 4, right? This thing is changing, you see. Now you don't have the pins at the bottom anymore, and also the type of lock changes. A different color. It doesn't have the pins here. Here it doesn't have the holes at the bottom, you see. And there are only 4 pins. Then if the complexity becomes higher, you know, there could be a sequence that you have to respect, right? So something like that. Yeah, but why it doesn't become? I mean, my problem is, bro, this thing is insane though. Oh, 1.1. Oh, wow. Oh, very interesting. 1.5. No, but I need it to go like this. Exactly like this. Exactly like I drawn it, right? Exactly like I drawn it here. With 100 being the maximum, or 200 being the maximum. With 200 being the maximum. So in reality, it will be like this, right? Yes. With 200 being the maximum. So basically I want an exponential but I need one curve that's not linear, something that gives me a result of one. Wait, is it 1 correct or not? No, it's the opposite shit. No, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. Is the opposite, right? Because I want... Yeah, it's the opposite. Because I want that the whatever value, right, I have, even above 200, which is impossible, but anyway, gives me a maximum of 1, right? I think it's a log something. Or the exponential is minus. Now if I do minus, it goes down. I need to... Okay, anyway, ChatGPT will tell me. So I basically need... so something that gives me a result of 1 if I have 200 skill. Understand? By the way, Beonadrit, I think you answered to the question a bit later, so maybe just check if at the bottom you are seeing the stream live. There should be a button saying live. Maybe you are behind a few minutes. Sometimes it happens on YouTube. There is a smooth step curve. It is non-linear but keeps the important value. No, I mean it's fine if it's a curve. I don't want to have it in steps. I mean it's fine. Yeah, log x. Log x is, but the problem of log x is that it's too strong, right? Log x is too strong. Can you draw? I cannot read this number and figure out what is it. But actually, it's not really true though. I need a curve like that. That goes to 1 at 100. Come on, make this fucking picture. Cannot do it. Cannot do it, it's broken. Why it takes so much time? Okay. What the fuck? What is this? I think my problem is the shit. put in the range 0, 1. Okay. The problem is that I have... Where do you want the parabola to land at 100? No, I'm trying to say... I think this curve is not bad. I think this curve is not bad. My only problem is that I have 2 parameters and not 1. So my problem is that my input parameters are 2, not 1. So I have 3 variables, no? I have 2 variables plus the result. No? So I have 1 divided by the other that gives me a result. If you want the full formula with skill and strength, your normalized input is skill divided by strength multiplied by 2, elevated by 2, multiplied by 3 minus blah blah blah. Skill, strength, skill 100, strength 100, total 0.5. Seems to be correct. Skill 200, strength 100. Very good. Very good. I think we have our formula. How do people figure this out without ChatGPT, huh? No, it goes negative. No. No. Why it goes negative? You should not go negative. You should go up to 0. No, it was perfect. It was perfect. I mean, between 200 and 100 is perfect, but when you go... Actually, if you vary the skill, right, it is perfect. Right. There is the skill and there is the strength, right? So the value of 100, the value of 200, the value of 0 is all perfect. This works fantastically. Exactly the way I want it to work, right? The problem is if I change this, because if I change this to 220, that goes down a bit, which is correct. Which is correct. But if I go... Right? But the problem is that if I go here, it becomes negative. Why it becomes negative? It should never become negative. Why it becomes negative? And when does it become negative? Become negative at what? At 7? At 60? No, that's a very bad idea. It should never become negative. Never. So this works very well. This works very well with values of strength above 70 or so. But if I lower the lock strength, the result becomes negative, and it should never be negative. Minimum should be 0. Right? So this is what he gave me at the moment. This is what he gave me. The problem is that smooth step must only be used with an input from 0 to 1. What do you mean? Clamp the input before applying the curve. Clamp before applying the formula. But I don't know if I really agree to that, because I think it's cutting off stuff, no? Does clamp exist in clamp is the minimum. You have to do min max. You have to do min. I have to do min skill divided by strength. No, min max. Max skill divided by strength by 2 between that and 0. And then the result should be the minimum between this and 1. No? Oh fuck, exactly I have it there, so I cannot So 180 and 20 is 1. Hey, bro, it's always 1. No, you didn't understand shit. I mean, but this is basically cutting off the edges completely. This is cutting off my edges completely. So basically between, so if I have, yeah, from 200 to 100, from 100 down is always 1, right? So it's cutting off the, so it's not smooth. Is why we want this? I want it smooth. Why we should cut it off that way? I want a smooth curve, not a step, right? Because at the moment it is, but it should not go. Well, I can probably do just. Wait, let's use the previous formula and then I just add 1 or what, and then I scale it. I don't know. I don't know why he has this 3 minus 2, right? This 3 number 3. Why is this 3 there? Yeah, you see? So he goes to minus a million. I don't want it to go negative. Skill divided by strength multiplied by 2. Why strength multiplied by 2, by the way? If they have exactly the same range. I think it's just one divided by the other, by the way. Exactly like it was before. No, but one divided by the other is linear, and we don't want it linear, right? We said that we don't want it linear. Did we said that? Yes, because we don't want it to go above. Remove the 3 minus. Remove the 3 minus. Yeah, I don't understand why it has this 3 minus, really. Uh-oh. But it goes to 250,000 then. Well, maybe we can cut it off. It goes to... I mean, it's not really asymptotic, right? It's really not going to the right freaking place. Z multiplied by 2 divided by 2 multiplied by 2. Yeah, this is what I have. Yes, this is what I have. But if I do skill 100 and strength 1, then my number is 25,000. 250,000, right? While I would like this to go to 200 maximum. No, to 1 maximum. To 200 maximum. Wait, give me a second. I would like to do what this guy is saying. Skill divided by strength multiplied by 2. Skill multiplied by strength divided by 2. And then what? And then X. What do you mean XX? Ah no, sorry, X is this. X is this. And he's saying to use a P factor, to change the curve. Huh? Skill and strength goes from 0 to 200. They are the same. From 0 to 200. They are exactly the same. $200, $0.99. Why it goes to 0.5? I think this division by 2 is stupid. Why we divide it by 2? And why we elevate it by 0.5? No, this thing is it's definitely not working. 0.99. Okay, this is a bit better. Okay, I removed some numbers kind of randomly and but now it's 0.5 the minimum. It should be 0 the minimum. Maybe. $201, 1 and 1. It never goes to 0. Jesus Christ. for example, p equal to 4. He has this nice property 0 0 2 9 9 9 9. Instead of hitting 1 suddenly smooth get too close to 1. Y never goes above 1. Okay, never goes above 1, which is cool, but he stops at 0 5. That's the problem. He stops at 0 5, which is super bad. So with the formula that he gave me, I go properly. No, now there's no rule. Okay, with a p of 1, right? With a p of 1, I go from 0 5 to 99. I mean, from 0 5 to 1. I need to go from 0 to 1. You see, like now, you see, it's always going, at the moment, it's always going. Which, by the way, doesn't even make sense. No, 0 is a good idea. No, it's not working shit. It's not working at all. It was working a second ago, now it's not working anymore. X plus 1, 2 multiplied by z, 1 at 200 is roughly 1. Alright. Yeah, I can cut off the end. Okay, let me try yours. Let me try yours a second. So x is this, z is this. 4,489. It goes at 4,000 millions. So no, it doesn't work. That doesn't work. Change your mind. So it's actually just x plus 1 divided z plus 1 elevated by 2. But this is still giving me 1 million. It's still giving me 1 million numbers. Right? So the scale of what you just gave me is from 10,000 to minus millions. So I just want, okay, so I have 2 inputs. No, you cannot. You can send it to me on Discord, I guess. Use this instead. Skill divided by 200. Oh my god. That is becoming a giant thing. Why the P? I don't understand why he wants to add it. I mean, it's already complex. He wanted to add this P value that is like... But anyway, we can put P at 1. So it's dividing the skill by 2. Okay, so let's try to do that. So it's dividing the skill by 200. Skill divided by 200. Okay. That is what you call S. Then we have L. That is the strength plus 001 divided 200 plus 002. I think that's just to round it a bit, right? My strength is this other number, right? Okay. So this will give us 0.999999999. And then we have our P, right? That at the moment we set as 1. And then the formula is this thing, which is strength, no, S, which is this, L, which is this, P does this, S does this, L this, P this, L this, S this, P this. I don't know why I always have this freaking P. The result is minus 1000. It doesn't freaking work. 001. 001 is slightly better. Okay, it kind of works. It kind of works if I don't touch the edges. The real edges, right? If I don't touch the edges, it kind of works now. If I touch the edges... well, actually 0 to 100 works. 0 to 100... No, 200 0, bro. Yes, it works now. It kind of works now. Wait. Maybe we found it. Yeah, the problem is that if it's 0, it can never be 0, right? Skill should never be 0. Skill will always be bumped to 1. But can the strength be 0? Yeah, the strength can be 0. I think we kind of found it though. I don't know why I need to have this P. This P is probably how strong is the curve, right? But I don't really care. I don't know why he added another parameter in it that is already complex enough. So let me just see. If I remove this, so is E20 divided by 200. Why he added the 002 and 001? What if I remove that? What happens? 011 is 05. Okay, fantastic. $150, skill 150 is 001. 125, so which is half of it, it becomes 03. It's not bad. 100, it becomes, so skill 25, strength 100 is 0.12. It's very low, but anyway. Yeah, the only problem is how it goes up. What? No, it's broken again. Ah, Jesus. Why is broken again? Why between 190 and 200 is changing so much? No, this is not possible. It's so asymptotic. It's like this. Wait. It's like, oh fuck. It's like this at the moment, right? So it's very, very, very thin. Then goes like this. Yeah. So it's too thin here and here. But it's probably what the P was doing. Because you see that if I go 190, it goes at 0.7. If I go at 200, it goes at, so it's so much, you know, the power is insane. Well, it's true that the strength is 180, so actually I'm basically swinging up and down. Wait. It's because I'm swinging up and down the middle point of the lock strength. No, okay. So I think it cannot make, well, I mean, it doesn't make sense. So like, if we have a strength of 180 and we are like 10 below, we go 0.30, and if you go 10 above, no, I mean, it cannot be like this. It cannot be like this. Jesus Christ, how hard is to freaking get a curve that is a curve? The problem is that I cannot paint it. Why I cannot paint it? I don't know. How do I paint a curve with 3 values? So like, I have skill and strength as input, right? But I have 1 result, so it's 3 values, not 2. So it's 3-dimensional, it's a 3-dimensional curve. No, but this doesn't really work. I mean, the P, let me try to change the P. 170. Oh, there's no way. Hey, I was trying to use Desmos, but how do I put in something that has 3 values? I mean, it's not 3 values, but basically it's this. So he gave me this formula. Wait. Wait. So the formula. How do I see this last formula in Desmos? Yeah, we'll probably have to do -1 anyway because it's inverted, but that is not. In Desmos, use X as the player skill and the slider for RP. Pass these lines in Desmos. R equal to 100. R equal to 100. Oh shit, it's in the other page. P equal to 2. L equal to that. This equal to this. Doesn't really like me. He's saying that he cannot do it. Why there is this -x -200 here? Huh? What is that? Sorry. There was a thing in addition that should not have been there. With x between 0 and 200. Then set the slider range R 0 to 100. Set the slider range. Huh? Yeah. 0. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. I can. Oh, nice. You understand that that's a variable. P from 1 to 4. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Now the graph means see an horizontal line, my bro. Oh wow, I see a circle. As I posted it, then you get a slider for everything but Y and X. Yeah, I'm trying to understand what I'm seeing here at the moment, right? What do I see? So R, by the way, why R? What the fuck is R? We have strength and lock picking skill. What is R? R lock strength. Call it strength. Oh, Jesus. Okay, anyway. R is strength. R is strength. Okay. And where is my lock picking thingy? What is L? Maybe Desmos thinks P is PI. Oh shit. L is just the lock strength normalized from 0 to 200. Yeah, but what is my skill? Oh my god. P, we can call it X, but no, we can call it whatever. We can call it PO. Let's call it PO. No, is PO becomes P and O. No, that's a very bad idea. I don't know, I can call it B. I don't know, I can call it... Shit, why we have this P, by the way, from the beginning? I don't understand why we need to have a B. No, it's identical. By the way, it doesn't make any difference. Zero. Exactly zero difference. What makes the difference is this. No! I closed the window. No! Okay, it's back. I would type it out per hand again. The formula looks very jumbled. Then you will always have the division line instead of brackets. Possible. So can we use that? Can I name this thing like skill? Can I, or strength? Can I name it, or it needs to be a single letter? It needs to be a single letter. Fuck. Why? Can it be in brackets or something? In quotes? No. Okay, fine. Strength will be S. Okay, strength will be S. Okay, fine. And lockpicking skill will be L. Okay. Not R. Skill 01, skill divided by 2. I cannot type skill. It's not taking names. If I type skill, it's thinking is thinking those are 1, 2, 3, 4 different variables multiplied by each other. It's not taking names. But anyway, it's fine, you know. We can do B. Can I add a new line here? No. Huh? Can I insert? Ah, yes, I can. But L1, for example, L1, no, it's not doing it. It needs to have a name. It needs to have a freaking name. So annoying. Okay, it needs to be one letter. There's no way. It needs to be one letter. So my lockpicking skill, right? Already normalized. Let's do it normalized. I don't care. So it's between 1 and 1, right? Between 0 and 1. So my strength is 1. My lockpicking skill is 1, right? So this goes between 0 and 1, right? And this goes between 0 and 1. So I have my it's already normalized. Let's remove the 0 to 100, which is just annoying. It's just a division, right? So it's super easy. So this goes between 0 and 1, and this goes between 0 and 1, okay? So now the formula becomes what? Without a divided by 200. So it becomes x multiplied by 1 minus a, which is already divided by 200, right? A multiplied by let me delete all of this. I think the P was working, by the way. I think we can keep the P. A multiplied by 1 minus B elevated to whatever. And this becomes C. Okay. Why doesn't like it? There are too many variables. Ah, sorry, because he called A and B and I called it, oh my god. Jesus, why this stupid thing cannot do it the way it should be done? Okay, anyway. S and L, right? S and L, where B is my, maybe if I move this here, it would be easier. Yes. Yes. And then there is C. Then D is basically the same but reverse. Okay. D is exactly the same but reverse. So it's L and S. Right? Okay. And then the final formula is this. What do you mean undefined? Undefined? Zero, wait, huh? Seems to be working better. Okay, now the only question is, can I see it? I think it's working kind of better now. I think it's working kind of better now. So to see it, so basically what it did, it just did, okay, strength from 0 to 1, lockpick strength from 0 to 1, P is this freaking P variable. Then he created this two sub thingy, C and D, which is one the reverse of the other, by the way. And then he created this, right? So how do I visualize the... Okay, so I typed all of this. X is the skill. R is no, bro. Let me give him the new. Let me give him the new thingy. 0.5. No, what happened? Please. Okay, I have this now. How do I see the curve? Do it. Do it. It looks like, so it looks like a line. Yeah, the function is displayed but your y value is very high. So you see it? Ah, is this green thingy? So if the strength is maximum, and my lockpicking skill is 0.5, the result is nearly maximum. If I go down here, yeah, but I need to understand how linear it is, right? I need to understand the curve. At the moment it seems to be exactly linear. So if I go 0.5, 0.5, and then I go here, it's 0.2, 0. So it seems to be exactly linear, no? You see the value changing? To see the curve, you need to replace S with X, because X is the horizontal axis. Add this line. Oh my god. Okay. I'm adding this line. Jesus. Okay, I'm adding this line. Okay, I added that line. So the graph means X is the skill normalized from 0 to 1. X is the skill normalized from 0 to 1. I mean, you mean here? Yeah, but it's a line, it's linear. I mean, all of this, and we just created a freaking X divided by Y? What do you mean? Okay, let me change P. Let me change P. Finally we got what the P was needed for. Jesus. Jesus. Finally we got the P. The P is the solution to everything. Don't do what ChatGPT does, it's too complicated. Just do some value with X in function. No, ChatGPT always wins. It's always right. It's us humans that we don't understand it. Or probably me. Look, it works. It's Look. It's doing exactly what we need. You remember my drawing? Well, my first drawing was not like that. My first drawing was... I cannot go there anymore, unfortunately. But I draw something like this. Anyway. So the only thing I don't understand is... Oh, wow. Oh, this doesn't change anything though. I'm not sure I understand what I'm seeing, but it's pretty cool though. I kind of like it. It's very nice. It's visually nice, but I don't understand if it's what I need. But it's pretty cool though. I mean, you do this and you squeeze the thing. You look at how he squeezes it. Look. And then he squeezes it the other side. Look. Okay, now let me try to understand what we are seeing. So, what we are seeing is... If my strength is, let's say, 0.25, right? 0.25. So it's 1/4 of the total strength. And my skill is also 1/4, right? The result should be 0.5, hopefully, right? Okay, so the result is 0.5, right? So this means that my lockpicking minigame is 50% complexity, right? So which I think is good. If I increase the strength above my skill of, for example, double. Oh wow, double is going up a lot. So if it's double my skill, then the complexity becomes 0.95, which is pretty good, right? I mean, it's really, really high because the mini game is double my skill. So I think is correct. If I go below the other way, so if the mini game is half of my, so let's say 12.5, yeah, is half of my skill, right? Then the overall complexity is 0.08, so it's basically 10%. The complexity is 10%. Why? Huh? So that... Well, because the strength of the lock is also lower, right? Because so yeah, I think it depends if you always want the complexity of the mini game to be relative to my skill or to be relative to the 0 to 100 of the overall maximum strength, right? That's a very important question. Because the way it seems it works now. Okay, so let's keep the lock at the same level, right? The lock is about 10%. Let's go 10%. The lock is 10% of the overall complexity a lock may ever have, right? So 1 is Fort Knox, and 0 is a coin on the floor. Okay, so 0.1 is the strength there. So if I go up with my skill, that becomes easier and easier and easier and easier and easier. So a 10% lock with whatever skill if my skill is above the lock, it becomes very quickly, nearly instantly, super easy, right? You see, it becomes super easy. I can just be a little above and it's already super easy to unlock, right? I don't know if I like that though. If I reduce the P, if I do the P equal to 1, then as I go up, it goes down, but it goes down like reasonably, right? Well, here I'm 5 times the lock strength, and here I'm 5 times the lock strength. and I have 10%, and the complexity of the minigame is 10%. And it is 1%, and it is basically 0. I think the problem is when you swing between the up and down the complexity of the minigame, right? Sorry, the strength of the lock. When you swing up or down or up the strength lock, things move very, 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 very fast. So basically, yeah, you move between the 0-5 line. Yes, exactly. You move between the 0-5 point, right? So if you are exactly at it, you are at 0-5. If you go down, you go up. If you go up, right? And the P is deciding how fast. So the more you push the P, and the faster, right? And the faster the swing between, yeah, can the P be 0.5? So if the P is 0.5, it becomes very slow. If the P, yeah, it becomes way slower. Well, I don't know. Yes. So the P is the speed, right? The P is the speed at which you accelerate while going away from the 0-5 point, right? The P is that. The P is telling, you see if I put a P at 4, how vertical this is, right? Now probably if we have a P that goes at 0, right? I don't know what happens, but it's gonna take him ages to go up, right? Yeah, exactly. So you go up. I mean, yeah, it's taking ages. You have the wall. Exactly. You have the wall range, right? You have the wall range of skill before you can actually go up or down. So yes, it is the speed. It is the speed you move up or down. So you may decide, oh, my speed is 1. So I want my speed to be 1. Oh, the curve becomes, okay. So do we like this formula or no? You can set the S and L to A divided by 200, so you can see the true step size in a level system. No, but it's the same, no? It's the same. It's the same. I mean, forget the 200. 0 to 100 is just a scale, right? We don't need it here. It's just making things more complex. It's the same. Consider that 0 to 100, 0, 1 is equal to 0 to 100. Is 1 to 1, is identical. I just have to divide by 200 and I get this, so that's not a problem. Forget about it. Just do 0, 1, right? But I can translate it in my mind, right? I can say, oh, if it's 0.5 is 100. It's fine. The only question is if this formula is good or not for us. Because like a lock that is super easy, like, so let's say that this lock is super easy because it is 10% of the overall locks, right? And we say that when you are here, you are still at 0.5. So here your skill is half of the lock, and the result is 0.67. The result is 0.67. Then it goes down to reach 0.5 with that speed, and then after you pass it, it goes down fairly quick, actually. Right? It goes down very quick because actually here it doesn't matter anymore, right? So I mean it matters, but you are basically between 0.1, right? 10%. So all of this is 10% at that point. So it doesn't matter much if you are so much better than the lock. I think I like it though. I think I like it. So if you are so much better than the lock, it doesn't really make any. It doesn't really matter. Up to a certain point, up to being like double the lock. Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. I think I like it. With P1. If I do, okay, let's do P3 for example, right? P3. P3, so now how fast I move, I will move way faster. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like this. It's too fast. I don't like that. I don't like that this swinging so quickly while you go close to the yeah, and then basically means that after that little, right, from here to here in terms of lockpicking skill, it matters, and then from here down it doesn't matter at all, right? I think it's too fast. Like this is too fast. So I think that a P of 1 is perfect. I think we don't need the P. We can remove the P. Now let me try to do the opposite. So the strength is the lock strength is very strong. So it's a 0.85, right? It's a strong lock. It's a very strong lock. And let me see how do I approach that. So if I am very, very noob thief, I'm at 99. Okay, how fast do I approach this? 95, 94, 92. Oh my god. So when do I have a reasonable chance to unlock it? I have a reasonable chance to unlock it, meaning 0.5. Only when I'm in that range, right? So, and where is 0.6? 0.6 is here. It's very close, huh? 0.6 is here, 0.7 is here, 0.8 is here. Yeah, but it kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense. I think it makes sense. I mean, you could even vary the P value for some locks, so the difficulty can still be tweaked on per lock base if you want to. No, I think we'll make it too hard for us. I mean, we visualized this graph once, right? But we will never visualize it again, I guess. Can I save this somehow? I mean, can I copy the whole thing? Lockpicking. Yeah, probably is enough to copy all these lines, right? If we copy all these lines in a text pad, and then we paste it again, I think is good. I think it's good, guys. I think we keep the P at 1, so we remove the P from the formula, and we use it this way. And so the complexity of the mini game is this final formula. I just don't understand what is the, I mean, is this at the end just linear or not? And it's not linear, right? It's not linear. But it feels a bit linear. I don't know why. Are we sure it's not just one divided by the other at the end? No, eh? Okay, I tested it in Desmos, and the P equal to 1 is good. So I don't need the P. I don't need the P. Yeah, it requires login. Yes, but it's fine. Top right, you can share. What do you mean? That link. Skill divided by 200, strength divided by 200. Result or simplified. Okay. So now how do I put this into Unreal? So that would be the complexity of my setup lock minigame, huh? So we want to set, so we want a function somewhere, right? That is called calculate complexity. Calculate lock complexity, right? And calculate lock complexity needs to have only the two parameters with that are two parameters that are the strength, the lock strength, which is an integer, and the player skill, which is also an integer, right? So the first thing that we do, we divide this by 200. Wait. The first thing that we do, we transform this to a float, and we divide this by 200, right? So that we have our proper 0-1 range and GG, right? Then do we want to trust this guy that he created a simplified version? 1 minus L plus L multiplied by 1 minus S SL. Do we trust this change? S plus 1 S plus L. Basically moved the multiplication. Bah, I can try to trust it, but can try to trust it. Can try to trust it. So strength multiplied by 1 minus L minus this, huh? 1 minus L, multiply that. So 1 minus the player skill multiplied by the strength. 1 minus the player skill multiplied by the, no, it's the opposite, fuck. L and S are inverted. S is the skill. Why you inverted it, you stupid program? He had to invert the two thingy? Because he didn't know what was S and what was L, but S, so he assumed S skill and L strength. I don't know how we can assume that L is strength because it's lock strength. Okay. Yes, he inverted the 2. Inverted the 2, so I have to read this inverted. Oh my god. Why life is so hard sometimes. Okay, I can just do this. I can just do it and then do this, right? I can just do it thinking it one way and then I invert this too. So, no, I will confuse myself so much. No, no, I will confuse myself too much. Okay, let's do it the way he has it, because otherwise I will confuse myself too much. So the way he has it is lock strength. So 1 minus, yes, 1 minus lock strength multiplied by skill, okay. Divide all of this divided by the strength, no, the skill, what the fuck? The skill plus the strength minus 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by S multiplied by L. 2 multiplied by S multiplied by L. Wait. 2 multiplied by S, where S we said that is the lock strength. No, S is the skill. S is the skill, so it's wrong. This one. So 2 multiplied by the skill multiplied by let me do it this way, maybe it's a bit more understandable. Multiplied by the strength. Okay, so this thing is minus, right? Yeah, it's minus this. Okay, it's minus this. And this is divided by this. Okay. So I pasted here the formula, right? The skill is the S is the skill divided by 200. L is the strength divided by 200, right? Which is here. So in reality, okay, that's fine. So skill is it? Skill multiplied by, yes, 1 minus the strength, yes. All of this divided by the skill, all of this divided by the skill plus the lock minus 2 multiplied by the skill multiplied by the lock. Okay, I think it's correct. Okay, I think it's correct. I think we have it. So this thing is my complexity, where the greater is the copy this link, by the way. We have the URL here as well, so just in case. Where the result is the higher the value, the more complex. Yes, the more complex is the minigame, right? So there is the complexity. There is the complexity. 0 minimum, 1 maximum. Okay. Okay, so we have the minimum complexity in the minimum. Okay. Between 0 and 1. Now, okay, this thing should go in my setup minigame, right? Basically here somewhere. Now, at this point, right? Because we arrived here, right? We arrived here. While log strength is already a float. Is already a float. Well, fine. In our case, it will not be, but fine. It's already a float. Hopefully, I will not mess up now. Okay, it's already a float. Even better. Okay, so here we calculate the complexity of the minigame. Now, based on the... So, do you think that we should change the type of lock based on the complexity, or the type of lock is given by the... No, I think we should change it with the complexity. Yeah. I think the type of lock is... So if the complexity is... Yeah, the problem... The problem if I do it this way, right? If I do it this way, one player will see... that's a bit weird, huh? So let's say the two players are looking at the same box, right? And two players are looking at the same box. And one sees 8 pins, 8 pins in a sequence. And the other guy sees 1 pin only, because he's like Jesus in unlocking things. So I think we have no escape, though. We have no escape from this pattern, because the whole idea is to set up the lock based on the complexity. And the complexity is given by the player's skill, right? It's based on the player's skill. So that the mini game becomes easier if you have a higher skill, right? We don't want to have a... So we want to have a player skill. We want to have a character skill, right? So unfortunately, this is what will happen. So you will actually, so two different players will see two different locks. Is it bad? Is it bad, or is it the way we want it? Because we could also do it differently. I mean, we could also say, for example, that the model with 8 appears only on certain lock strength, right? So if the lock strength is above 100, then you have the 8 pins. If it's below 100, then you have the 4 pins, and then we manage to have the difficulty within those ranges, right? It's probably a better idea, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, I think we should do it this way. I think we should have any lock with strength 100 or above will have maximum 8 pins. Any lock below 100 will have maximum 4 pins, and so it will be the other model, right? The other base, this base. I think so. At least now, if we add more locks in the future, but I don't think we will. I don't think we will add a 12, right? I think 8 is more than enough. Okay, let's do it this way. I mean, it's kind of rewarding for the player to be able to solve the bigger locks, which they won't see if they go for locks in the skills. Maybe just have the pin accuracy or something like that be affected by the function, so they're less sensitive the more skill you have. Yeah, what I'm thinking is more rewarding for the player to solve bigger locks. So that's the keyword, right? It's more rewarding for the player to be able to solve bigger locks. I agree, but the question is, do they solve it as a player or as a character, right? And my answer is as a character. So their character skill is not the player skill, it's the character skill, right? The character skill is affecting how complex is the lock. So at the moment, what I'm thinking this. I'm thinking, and I think is the way I want to do it. At the moment, I'm thinking this, right? You are wait. So player 1, right? It's not player 1. No, not player 1. I mean, why so big? Wait, believe in me 1 second. I know you always believe in me. Okay, so you see that these two locks are different, right? One has only 4 pins, and below is nothing. There is not even the space for it, right? So this one is max 4 and is a different shape, right? Max 4 and different shape. This one is max 8. So we have two options. We have the option that player 1 and player 2, right, they look at the same chest. Let's say that here there is a chest. Here there is a chest, and there is a lock on it, right? So they both look at the chest, right? And one way that we could do it is because player 1 has I don't know, this guy has a skill 150, and this guy has skill 50, okay? And let's say that the chest is whatever, strength 100. I didn't want the pink. Right? This is strength 100. So one is above and that is below. So what I'm saying is that we have two options. So one option is that the player with skill 150 sees a simplified lock because he has way more skill than the strength, and so he sees this lock, while the other player sees this lock, right? And I'm saying, I don't know if I really like this, right? Because if they speak if they speak, you know, they will say, oh, the lock has 8 pins. No, my lock has 4. I mean, they don't understand what is going on, right? So there is one option, right? This is one option. The other option is that I don't know how to represent it here because it's too much space. But anyway, the other option is that no, it doesn't fit. You're serious? It is transparent? Oh my god. The other option is that a single chest that is a strength 100. Well, now 100 is a bit of an annoying number because I wanted to say, well, let's say 101 and above. Okay, so at 100 is always showing the same lock, but right. So both players will see the same lock, but the difference is that we will vary the speed of the pins. We will vary the tolerance of being able to lock it in place, right? We may also vary the number of pins, right? I think the number of pins can still change, you know? Maybe one is 2, another is 3, another is 4, depending on how many you have to unlock, right? And maybe some are already unlocked for you. No, I don't know. We can have some pins already unlocked in case you have a higher skill. That's a possibility. And we can vary if there is a sequence or if there is no sequence, right? Sequence or not. And then when they look at another lock, right? But this will be a different lock. If the chest is 100 or above, 100 and 101 or above, right? This will be, let's say 101 or above, right? Then they will see this one, right? Greater or equal than, right? Then they will see this one. So I think it's a bit more reasonable to do it this way. So at least you know the lock looks the same. The overall lock looks the same, right? I mean, these are the two options. Option 1, option 2. Which one do you like more? So in the first option, 2 players see 2 different mini games based on their skill. And basically, if you are a very, very new player, so with skill number 1, you will see this complex object and you will not be able to open it pretty much, or will be very, very hard to open. I think I like this more. I think I like this one more. I think I like this one more. To me, it makes more sense. So let's do it this way. To me, it makes more sense. So actually the number of pins, right, is not decided by... So the number of pins is not an input to this thing, right? But it's the type of, well, it's based on the lock strength, right? So I think we can remove the number of pins from here. Yeah, we remove the number of pins actually. And we will say that, yeah, we remove the number of pins. Number of pins, delete. Well, if I delete it here though, I think it's very risky. No, I can delete it from here, but not from here, right? And so the number of pins will be based on, and I think this will be the maximum number of pins, right? Not the actual number of pins, because the actual number of pins is calculated by the complexity. Exactly. So there are few things that will happen. There are few things that will happen here. So we need a max number of pins. Max number of pins. And or we can just have a simple complex lock, which is probably easier. Yeah. Yeah, let me just do this. So if the lock strength is greater than 100, if the lock strength is greater than 100, we will set it's never enough space, bro. We will set it simple as false, right? And if it's if it's greater than 100, then it's complex. Yeah, maybe I will call it differently then, because it's annoying. Is complex, right? If it's greater than 100, is complex. If it's not, it's simple, right? Is not complex, okay? Then we go and we calculate the complexity of our lock based on the player's skill, and then we calculate the maximum number of, well, the actual number of pins based on the complexity. So I think that we should have a function that is configuring the tolerance. So also the tolerance, right, should be configured based on the skill. So, but I think it should be a combination or not. So what we can vary the speed, we can vary the tolerance, we can vary the number of pins, and we can vary the sequence. Well, actually it was more than that. It was what? It was difficulty mode, right? Difficulty mode. Let me just remember how this difficulty mode was done. Difficulty mode. Difficulty mode was any order, fixed order, or fixed order with reset, right? Yes, exactly. So also so we can change, exactly. So we can change the difficulty mode as well there, right? Now, do we want to have one single function that is randomizing those parameters or no? I like the second more. It's more coherent in the world and also more rewarding for the player and a better representation of skills since it's just easier to open for higher skill levels. Okay, nice. We agree. Very good. Very nice. Wait a second, I need to read a message. Someone sent me something. Someone sent me something. Ba-da-bum. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so do we want to, so now the next question is, do we want a single function that calculates all those parameters? I would say yes. So we need one function that is called configure lock based on complexity. It's a bit long, but anyway. Configure lock by complexity. Right? And configure lock by complexity takes the complexity as an input. Well, actually, you know what? I think it makes no sense to have all these parameters going through. I mean, also this one, lock strength, lock skill. I mean, we have them set here, right? So I don't know why. I don't know really why I need to get them. I need to pass them. So these are fixed for the lock, right? So there is no need. Sorry, why I'm using this and not this? It's a mistake. It's a big mistake. I was using the value not divided by 200 there. No. Okay. Yeah, we don't need this input. We don't need this input. We just use the variables that are set on the okay, fine, we will fix that. And the same here, right? So configure lock by complexity. So the question is, we have a number of parameters that we can use. We have the mode. We have the speed of the pin. We have the tolerance. We have the speed of the pin. We have the tolerance. And in theory, there could also be a time limit. Do we want to have a time limit? A time limit before reset? Oh shit, that's annoying. We could have it if you want. So basically, that there is a time to unlock the thingy. If you don't do it in time, it resets, and so you have to restart from zero. Is it too annoying? Because basically what I'm thinking, I want to have as many variables as possible so that the gameplay is a bit different, right, every time. So it's not always the same thing. And another thing that we could have, right, is what we were. So we could have a mode 4. We could have a mode number 4, which is actually. So any order, fixed order, we reset. So we could have a mode 4 that is different pins. The only thing that I don't know is... So pin meaningfulness or something like that, right? No, it crashed! Jesus Christ. When is the last time I saved? Well, we worked pretty much outside of the minigame, but yeah, the last stuff that I did I have to redo. I think I saved it at least once or twice, hopefully. I have to save more often. It crashed. Sometimes the editor crashes. I don't know exactly when, but there is cases where it crashes. Fuck. I think we have to redo the graph, maybe. I don't know. I hope not. I don't remember. I save sometimes, but not always, right? Can you fucking open them? I'm clicking yes, but it's not open yet. Okay, GG. Doesn't want to open anything anymore. What is going on? It doesn't work anymore. Huh, it works again now. Ah, Jesus. Nah, I didn't save anything. It didn't save anything. Fuck. Bah. You didn't save anything? No, wait. Is in the other, is in the BP, yeah? Wait, is in the BP. Ah, is here. So sometimes I clicked on save. But here probably, okay, no, we were not too far, We were before we removed the parameters here. So we were not too far. It is okay. I mean, it's reasonable. I mean, we have to redo some stuff, but it's reasonable. It's very reasonable. It's very, very reasonable. I think it crashes mostly when you are removing parameters from functions, not recompiling, and then going back to the to other places where the function is used and is getting super confused, right? So I think this is what happens. So we removed the number of pins from here, and we said that the number of pins would be done later. And we created a new function that was configure lock by complexity. And in configure lock by complexity, yeah, unfortunately I lost the text, but so the text was so annoying when it crashes. Hello, Ben Trapper Dev. It crashes when you are changing signature of methods, and then the other blueprints calling that method are getting, you know, are broken, and sometimes it crashes. So we said what? We said pin speed. We said the tolerance. Oh, there was another one before. Pin speed, tolerance, well, obviously number of pins. Number of pins, pin speed, tolerance. And then mode. And then I said that maybe we want to have a timer. Timer required, timer before reset. Now, one thing that we need to think of is in multiplayer, right? What will happen if two people are trying to unlock the same lock? How does it work today in plane shift? I mean, how does it work today in the game? If two people, because I think they can, right? If the chest is on the ground, two people can initiate a lockpick. I think that the first one that does it probably wins, and the second one gets the message it is already unlocked. We will have to think about it though. So my question to you is, do we want to randomize? So for example, sometimes we change the speed, sometimes we change the tolerance, sometimes we change the number of pins, sometimes we change the mode, or do we want to have more of a linear thing so that, you know, if the difficulty is between that and that, you know, always the number of pins are in that range. If the complexity is between that and that, you know, the speed of the pin is always in that range. So do we want to do a weighted average of them with some randomization? I think would be nicer. I think would be probably nicer. So that is a bit different. So for example, you can get only 2 pins instead of 4, but the speed is higher. The only problem is that will be then configured by, so it will be different every time. So you kind of look at the game, you say, I don't like this game. No, I think a weighted average is a bad idea. It's a bad idea because basically what you will do, you will start the game, look how it is configured. Now it's not starting because there is something broken. No? Yeah, there is definitely something broken. I don't know why. But there is definitely something broken. Probably the level. Probably this one. Yeah. I think I like it more the other way. Probably I like it more the other way, meaning that right, if you open, if you ask to unlock, you see the lock, and based on the complexity is always the same. Yeah, and then it may vary. Okay, I think that's a better decision. So basically we are saying that so this will not return the complexity, yeah? This will set the lock complexity. There is another thing that sometimes makes Unreal go crazy is when you change the return node and it doesn't understand anymore why the return node now is missing and is messing up. Okay, so we have our complexity variable now, right? So this complexity variable is spanning from 0 to 1. So the first thing that we should do is to check which by the way we didn't do because we crashed. Should we set it here? Yeah, maybe we set it here actually. Yeah, all the stuff that I did on this thing was not saved. Okay. So we set that there, right? So now the first thing that we can do is to determine the number of pins, right? The number of pins. So I think that the minimum obviously should be 1. Should the minimum be 1 or should be 2? Probably 2, otherwise you cannot have a sequence. Well, if you have 2 and a sequence, it's pretty well, yeah, you can, well, 50-50 to find it at the beginning, right? But I think with 2, the other parameters are a bit stupid. With 1, is even more stupid. I mean, the speed still makes sense, the tolerance makes sense, the timer may make sense, but the order, but this doesn't make sense, right? With 1 pin, and also with 2, I think is very, very simple. So I think we should apply probably the higher difficulty mode only if we have 3 pins or more. Yeah, I think so. So we can say that we decide first of all the number of pins. And the number of pins, we define it based on what? Linearly on the lock complexity. So we say we say from 0 to 25, 1, from 25 to 52, and so on. And the same with 8. So it's basically the log's complexity multiplied by 2. No, is the log's complexity multiplied by 0.25? No. What? Is the log's... what is it? Is the log complexity multiplied by 4? Is the log complexity multiplied by 4 clamped between 1 and 4? And then if it's complex, we multiply it by 2 again. So if it's complex, we multiply by 2. If it's not complex, we don't multiply by 2. And then we set the number of pins equal to this thing. Yeah, but we need to round it somehow, right? Do we round it by ceiling or by floor? I think closest number, no? I think closest number. So we do a normal round. We do a normal round. We do a normal round. Okay. So okay, so this will result in maximum 8 pins. We result between 2 and 8. I don't know if I want to have the 2 as a minimum in the second. No, I think it should be 4 minimum. Yes. So we need to do 3 plus. No, 3 plus is not enough. 4 plus. What do we do here? If we do 4 plus, we will never have 4. Yeah, but it's correct. 4 plus. Okay, we do 4 plus. We do 4 plus. So the complex starts minimum at 4. And then it scales linearly on the complexity. So it's doing 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? It's doing 5, 6, 7, 8. And the lower complexity chest is doing 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So this is setting the number of pins. This is setting the number of pins. Now, the second one is the pin speed. So the pin speed, I think we tested it a bit, right? And we tested it by setting the playback speed or something like that. I think it's called like playback or play speed. I don't remember if it's play speed or playback speed or playback. You know, is the play rate, pin speed, right? Yeah, pin speed. Now this pin speed is actually configurable for each pin. It's configurable for each pin. So let me see what is it. So do we want to go below the value? So the speed of the pin is this, basically. Is how fast it goes up and down. This speed to me seems to be good. But it can be, you know, 3 times faster if you want. Wow. It's basically impossible to catch. Probably we have a range between 1 and 2. I think 3 is really a lot. I think 3 is a bit extreme, actually. Oh, okay. Yeah, probably because we didn't set the number of pins properly. I don't know, it's a bit strange. We have to check why it gave that error. It should not give that error, actually. Consider you need to catch. I think probably between 1 and 2 is the maximum. I think I would not go lower than 1 speed, so I think between 1 and 2 is probably. Now, do we want to make a different speed for each, to have a different speed for each of the pins, or do we want all of them to move the same? If I think all of them move the same. Yeah, probably. Okay, we can do the pin speed between 1 and 2. And I think you can scale linearly with the complexity of the thingy. So the pin speed, we actually need to pass this value to the contained pins, right? We have here, assuming that that is yeah, that is done inside begin play. Yeah, we can we do it on all the pins? Yeah, we can do it on all the pins. So I think we can take all pins. Okay, so I think we can just do this. We can take all pins and we can set the we can for each, and we can set the pin speed to be a linear, so it's basically 1 plus, right? 1 plus the complexity. Yes. Yes. So it's 1 plus the complexity, right? So it will go from 1 to 2. Okay, nice. So that is the pin speed. After this, the tolerance. Well, for the tolerance, we have this calculation already. But I think we need to test this a bit better, because I think it was working pretty bad. Don't know if there is a way for me to visualize it. I think I'm printing the value. Yeah, I'm printing the value. I think a reasonable range is between 1 and 4. 1 being very hard, well, kind of hard, and 4 being super easy. The tolerance is the... So if you so let's say that you have to lock it here, right? And this thing is moving up and down, right? This thing is moving up and down. So you can have a tolerance that is as big as this, right? Or you can have a tolerance that is as big as this, right? So this is what the tolerance does, right? So, I mean, a tolerance of 4 is... that is from 0 to 7, right? So a tolerance of 4 is more than half. More than half. Maybe it's too much. Need to understand what happens with 1/7, right? So 0.14, so it's like 0.15. We can try, but I think it will not be very easy. Let me just do it fake. Let me try a 0.15, right? But I think 0.15 is very, very little. Zero 0.5. Let me try a 0.15, but let me remove 1 second the sound, because there is one sound that is very annoying. Play sound, unlock sound. Play sound. Yeah, let me remove 1 second this. Let me also stop the music so I can hear better. But basically now we have a 0.15 threshold and we hear only the tick. I don't know if it's really precise though, because I mean from the sound it is like 80% up, right? But I'm trying to press 80% up and it's not doing it. I'm pressing exactly. I mean it's 0.15. 0.15 is... I think I pressed pretty much everywhere. No, 0.15 definitely doesn't... but maybe we have a problem. We have a problem, wait. We have a problem. Why we have a problem? Because I think we interrupted the graph. Yeah. We broke it. Yeah, we broke it completely. set a number of pins. We set a number of pins here, right? So we don't have to redo it here. Yeah. So here we go with the is complex, right? So we remove that. And we do this. Okay. Okay, let's try again. Ah, we only have one pin. Perfectly on time. That's 0.15. You see that it configured itself already properly? Very nice. So now if I pass different parameters, so let's pass different parameters to this guy, right? So we say that the so we say the lock strength is wrong though. How it is possible? Lock strength 100 and lock picking skill 2 and we get only one pin is impossible. What? Let's print out the complexity 1 second. I think this complexity is fucked up then. It's very strange. Very, very strange. Okay. Complexity 0.01. Is the reverse. Complexity 0.01. Complexity 0.99. Yeah, is reversed. Why is it reversed? I think we did it in a way that we knew that, I don't know, maybe I messed up the two parameters in input here. Is the reverse for whatever reason. Is the reverse of this. It's strange though, because we did it. So the strength. Now I don't remember what is this, but anyway. If the S goes up, the skill goes down. Yes, it's increasing. So the L is the skill, I guess. I mean, here it looks correct, but it is probably inverted then. This L. I can do 1 minus and that's it. Yeah, let's do just 1 minus and fuck it. reason is the opposite. But it seems to work okay. Okay, so now it's 0.05, yes. If I go like this, should be 0.5, yeah, 0.5, fantastic. In fact, we have 2 pins, right? We have 2 pins. And if we go 50, we have 3 pins. Yeah, it kind of works, yes. And if we go, I don't know, 25, will be 4 pins. It works as expected, boys. Strange, because I have the tolerance. Probably the tolerance is too little now. Hey, it's 0.15, right? 0.15, but seems a bit weird that I never catch it, right? But 0.15 maybe is very little, but I don't know if it's correct. I'm 50-50 on there is a bug or I mean, if I do 0.5, right, will be significantly easier. Why is it not working anymore now? What? Zero 5 is already annoying. Wow. 0.5 is already fairly small. I think 0.5 is the minimum we should go. Below that is annoying. I mean, it's already kind of annoying. It's already kind of annoying at 0.5. 0.5 is the absolute minimum. It's strange though, the 0.5 is... Yeah, because it's on 14, because the maximum is 7, right? The maximum is 7, so it's 14 pieces. I think 0.5 is already annoying. Wow. Or the sound is not exactly where it should be. Holy moly. I would like to have a marker if possible that tells me, right, what is the right position, but I mean, I can print it out actually. The position of unlocking is the position to unlock is called unlock unlock zip in delta. Unlock zip in delta. Yes. And this is decided. Let me try to print this out a second. Can be just called unlock position, by the way, but unlock position. It didn't type it at all. What? Ah, fuck. Okay, well, that's probably the reason. Ah, it's printing them all in one chunk. No. And by the way, it's doing it also for the for the ones that are not needed. It did it for all 8. Yeah, because it's in the begin play. Is in the begin play. No. In the begin play is a very bad idea. No, in the begin play is not possible. This needs to be done in the configure. No, this needs to be defined. This needs to be defined for sure, not in this moment. For sure not. That is the wrong place. This needs to be initialized when we do the configure, right? So after we decide how many pins and after we decide all of that, right? After we decide the pin, yeah, for every pin, maybe here in the pin speed. Oh, by the way, small mistake. Yeah, for every pin, right? For every pin, I think we can configure this thing. I mean, for all the pins that are actually wait, I think I have made a mistake. Ah, it's okay. I mean, it's here, but I think all of this also should go inside the configure complexity. Yeah, doesn't make sense to stay there. When we are configuring the complexity, we configure the number of pins, and after we have the number of pins, we can actually make only the pins that are meaningful visible, right? Yeah. And when we do this, maybe we can also configure the so only for the ones that we keep visible, only for the ones that we keep visible, right? We can do this. Now, does this know? Yes, it does, right? Because it has num pins as an input. So I think that actually this part, right, can be attached directly here without the for loop, obviously. So this is the pin speed for this is the pin speed. This is the unlock position. Yeah. Yeah. And then when we finish this loop, we can go for the tolerance, right? And the tolerance is done only once, yes. And then after the tolerance, we will have to do this other stuff here. Okay. Let me save everything and try. No, it's not working. It's not working. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. This is the, okay, so this one is inside of this. And this one is inside of this. Yes. Okay. Okay. So now, I didn't see the unlock positions. Unlock position 0847 blah blah blah. Is going from here to left. So 08 is really at the beginning. Doesn't seem to match too much. Wait a second. Maybe we have a problem on the actual location. So what he said this, right? 0847538. These are the numbers that he randomized, right? These are the numbers that he randomized. Okay, these numbers. And so I don't know if they go in this direction or in this direction. In theory, I can print out the pin number, but it starts with the... Yeah, it goes in sequence, right? Yeah, it goes in sequence. So the first one at the bottom is the first one. Okay, so our first number is 0.8, and then we have a 47. Okay, then a 5. Okay, and a 3.8. Yeah, let's say that the playing of the sound seems to be slightly delayed, if I have to say. Like this one feels at the bottom, but not really at the bottom. This one feels definitely higher, and this one feels slightly higher. And this one feels pretty much at the bottom. Still, I cannot unlock it. It's too hard. It's too hard. It's too hard. It doesn't work, actually. Let me type, when we say wrong position, let me type the current position versus the expected position. And so we know, so instead of saying just wrong position, right? We will try to type, if it's possible, the two, but at the moment it's too hard. I mean, it's really too hard. It's really too hard. Wrong position. Unlock PZ delta. Z-pin delta tolerance. So in theory, Z pin delta is where I am. And the target is this. Okay. So now whenever I run it, we should see this value printed out in the top left. Round position 1.5, 0.6. Okay, this is another problem. The problem is that if the solution is too close to the end, the pin stops and you don't have a way to catch it. Zero 0.02. No, it's not get okay. We have another problem. We have another problem. Huh, I blocked the other one for whatever reason. Yeah. We have another problem. Okay, so the problem is that the actual Z pin delta, I mean, or this is not the right value, but it's not granular enough. It's not granular enough. So it's basically having only 3 or 4 on the wall. Very strange though. So it seems that the granularity of this thing is not very granular. So it's like if I print a value here, right? If I print this value here, it seems that it's not granular at all. But in theory it's impossible because it's a timeline. So a timeline should be frame by frame. It's not frame by frame at all. So basically, if you look at all the numbers that we have, I have to go unfortunately, but if you look at all the numbers that we have, they are not very many. So it's not very granular at the moment. So what it's doing is pretty much this. I mean, I'm not saying there is 0 granular, but you see, these are the numbers, and it's consistently. So from 0 to 7, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? 8. So we have like 7 positions. So okay. So if the tolerance is less than 1, it will never work. Or we find a way to have the timeline more granular, right? but pretty much I think there is a, I think it may depends also on the FPS that you are having in that moment, but it's probably, so I think we have to think a bit how to fix this, right? Because it seems that we have maximum 7 positions available from here to here. So my granularity was smaller than that, and so it was basically impossible. So we were always missing, right? We were always missing the mark. We were always missing the mark. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. I think we made some decent progress. At least we have the complexity formula, which was the harder one to make, right? Into the mini game. Now we can derive everything from the complexity formula. And yeah, I think that's it. I will see you tomorrow evening, 9:30 p.m. European time. If you want to follow on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube, that is fantastic. And also remember, you can download our game. So yeah, I will see you then. Bye. Bye bye.